to the Monday, January 26th episode of Morning Coffee and Chat. Well, the sub zero temperatures have officially ended for now. We are sitting at 1 degree ambient temperature of 12 degrees, and the lake effect snow has started. I took the trash out, you know, as I normally do on Monday mornings, and I actually wore my Civil War, my cavalry boots out there because they go all the way up to the knees, and the snow was, yeah, about yay far from going over the top of my boots. Of course, you know where they plowed at was no better. That was over. That was waist deep. So, here's the blind guy taking the trash out. Everything's white. You can't tell where elevations are at unless it catches a shadow. So, my butt wound up in waist deep snow. I was actually talking to Sarah a little bit ago, and I told her, you know, I almost wish somebody was out there to film it because it was funny watching the blind dude in boots with no soles, well, flat wooden soles, falling down like a turtle and trying to get back up without covering himself completely in snow. But, missed photo op for y'all. That's what you get for living so far away. We already got some folks in here. Let me see who's here. I'm sure Tony's probably here. He's probably frozen and bored half to death right now, not being able to get out and do anything. So, uh, let's see if this works now. The old left eye's not been doing too awful well this morning. Well, for the last couple days with all the bright white. So let's see if I can actually read this thing this morning. Um, yeah, there's Tony. Um, and all right, let's scoot in a little closer. Um, Let me see here. Stephen, good morning, Stephen. Good. Um, Bloody can't see that. Damn it. I wish there was a way to crisp up this screen. Sean, that's who it is. Good morning, Sean. Hope you guys are fairly well over there to the west of us. I know Tony's probably been. I didn't see the path of the storm, so I don't know who got hit. I didn't know. Gotta love wintertime. So good morning, Tony. Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Stephen. Now I got to try to read the not just try to figure out who's here, but actually read what they're saying. Um, it's snowing outside. Oh yeah, it's snowing. We got shot. We got about 4 inches of snow, so it's no problem here. Besides the cold. Oh, that's always good. We've got probably about 13 or 14 inches out there right now. And like I said, the super cold snap has finally ended until what they're forecasting coming in later this week. But now the lake effect snow has started, and they're talking 4 or 5 inches minimum out of lake effect snow leading through today into tomorrow. So, who knows? Who knows? Gotta love the winter though. I'm sure the kiddies aren't loving it. We had them indoors for 2 days, and well, let's just say it didn't work out. I think being outside has made them slightly. Uh, they decided to stop using the litter boxes. We have 2 large steel litter boxes in the house, and they quit using it. So they had to go back outside. We were not going to, number one, I was not going to walk around the house in my little knit winter stockings and go slip sliding in little piles of kitty poo. The wife didn't like getting up in the middle of the night and stepping in little piles of kitty poo, or I should say little puddles of kitty poo. So yeah, they went back outside. It's just it's just Ralphie and Junior in here again, and Ralphie's not liking it. Y'all know he's a daddy to every outside kitty that comes in to stay safe and warm, and he's not liking being alone with Junior now. They'll normally sleep on the back of the couch together, but when we got other kitties in the house, Ralph is up all night long going from kitty to kitty to kitty, curling up with them, making sure they're warm, getting up, moving to the next one. So, but we can't afford it anyway. I mean, we had 6 of them in the house here for a while there for those 2 days, and they were going through food like crazy. Food and water, food and water. They're like little babies. Eat, drink, sleep, poop. That was it. But, when it's minus 20 degrees outside, I am not leaving little teeny tiny babies out there to potentially freeze in their sleep. So I can't do it. God forgive me, I can't do it. All right, let's see here. Um, we got about okay. Um, I'm about 20 miles north of the heavier snow bands. That's good. Heading off to work, listening. Just be careful, Sean. It's terrible. It's terrible. I went and woke the wife up and told her she needed to get rolling early this morning um, because of the snow and stuff like that. And they gave her inclement weather, so as long as she shows up, she don't get pointed. So you just be careful heading out into that crap. Um, some cats not share a litter box. And that's that I've noticed that, Tony. Georgie was in here for a while. She was the little tabby that we rescued, little stray. She was only just a month old, maybe 2 months when we found her 5 years ago. And just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she started everywhere. She'll potty in the litter box, but she won't poop in the litter box. So before winter hit, she wound up going out to mother over the babies whose mommy disappeared. And we let her back in with the babies the other day when it got really cold. And she will go outside where they go outside, but come back in the house and she won't. She won't. And we don't know which ones are pottying in the house because they always seem to do it when we're not looking. So they all wound up going back out except for Ralph and Junior. So, because we know they use the litter box. Um, um, God, I'm halfway tempted to do away with these damn wrenches on here so everybody's white and I can at least halfway read their names. Good morning, Sarah. Good to see you. My son changed my name in here. Oh, let me see you. I'm surprised the casino is even open. That casino never closes. They fought tooth and nail to stay open during COVID. Uh, being an independent nation within the nation, they don't have to follow the normal labor laws, but they've got so many non-tribal members that work there that they had to follow the law as it was thrown down. But yeah, they never close. Even if the local government says stay off the road, it's an emergency, da 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 da, they'll run strictly with tribal members. They will not close for nothing. They don't even close on holidays. That place is open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Um, a little cold and snow won't hamper gamblers. Oh, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of times it's open and there's only one or two people in there. There's been many a times that Steph has had to go to work at night or something, and they only have like one or two cars in the front parking lot, but the back parking lot where the employees and everybody parks at is full, and they're like that sometimes all night long, sometimes all day long. They like we won't have the retirement homes and stuff taking their little buses out there today and stuff like that. People are staying off the road. A lot of places are closed. I was supposed to have that doctor's appointment on Friday, my first doctor's appointment in almost 3 years since I finally got insurance. Even the clinic was closed. Courthouses were closed, clinic was closed, everything. So, as soon as the stream's over this morning, I have to go call the clinic again. Hopefully, they're open and make a new appointment. I know my attorneys are starting to get a little bit, I mean, not getting to see the doctors and stuff to keep this case moving. So, do people still go when it's bad out? Yes. Some do. I mean, your hardcores. But like I said, there's a lot of times that she'll go out there and you're hearing crickets, crickets and little bells and stuff. I'm surprised the trash is running. I really am. They haven't plowed here since yesterday morning when the snow let up. And like I said, it's been snowing probably all night, and they haven't plowed again yet. I thought I heard a plow earlier. It was a trash truck, and I mean they were barely moving through this stuff. It's I'd like to be able to post a camera outside, um, just to watch. I mean, people who are normally speeding up and down our roads and stuff right now are creeping. They're barely moving. I mean, I could, uh, well, back in my younger, more um, energetic days, I could run faster than most of them are driving up and down the roads out here. Of course, schools are all canceled. It's probably going to be one of those days where I can't even make an appointment at the doctor's office because everything's going to be closed. Um, they have food there too, don't they? Hopefully, they're at least feeding their employees when it's bad out. I feel sorry for my trash guys. They ride on the back. Yeah. Yeah, ours don't. Like I said last week, it's a city contract. Now, if you have a private contract with the company, then they come by in separate trucks with a rider on the back, or the driver will get out of the truck and throw any excess bags in. But with city contract, you're only allowed a trash can and whatever you can pile on top of it. So we have a driver. Our guys don't get out. Yes, they do feed them. They have a Timbers restaurant um, in the casino. So, and then of course, they set out special meals and stuff for the employees. If you don't like what's on the little buffet kind of thing, then you can order fish or chicken or burgers or tacos or whatever. Of course, the wife gets burgers, and I've not had a hamburger in um, weeks because we can't afford ground beef. But yeah, they get fed. They get fed. Of course, when she works nights, like when she goes in at noon or something like that, don't get home till 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I always try to have something made for her to eat, even though she usually eats at work. Um, just like today, she's supposed to be there at 9. So of course, she'll eat lunch at work, and then I'll have some kind of dinner cooked tonight um, for when she gets home, when we're settling in and everything. So yeah, it's definitely better than what we're doing here. That's for sure. They oh wait, they canceled our trash run for today. I wish they'd try or cancel ours once in a while. Of course, last week was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. They actually brought the national observance of that holiday back this year, and the trash still ran. So they don't run like I think Easter weekend, Thanksgiving. Nope, nope. They still ran on Thanksgiving. They still ran the Monday after Christmas. Um, I don't think they run on Memorial Day. I don't think they run on Easter. And there's a couple more holidays in there that like fall on a Sunday or a Monday that they don't run. But other than that, they are out. They are out and they are doing their thing. Um, Andrew, I'll have you on my next open mic night. We can try it again. We could, like I said, I came in and I watched your stream here a couple weeks ago, and you had some guitar player on there, some performer, and I just don't fit into that. Um, Now, just a regular open mic where you have different subject matter or different speakers coming in, yeah, I'm more than happy to come in, but I want to keep your stream loyal to what you're doing. The same as, back when I done um, StreamYard interviews and stuff like that, or open mics for like for New Year's and stuff like that. I want to keep things on a loyal subject so you don't have viewers watching one thing and then you bring somebody else up that's not associated and they leave. Yeah, that way it keeps your views up where they would normally be and makes your viewers happy. So yeah, as long as you're having just an open mic kind of thing, I am more than happy to come in and talk. Um, oh goody, the weather radio says it is minus 20 wind chill. Yeah, I checked ours right before the stream started, and like I said, we were at 12 degrees with snow, um, but the wind chill was 1. So all we got to deal with is more snow piling up. Luckily, the wife has got a four-wheel drive, so I don't have to keep continuously walking down to the edge of the driveway and shoveling out the drive where the plows keep plowing our drive in. I'll never get that. There is no drive across the road, so plow everything to the north side. Don't plow it to the south side where you're blocking 4 driveways at in our block. There's one driveway across the street, and they've got a few teenage boys that can go out there and shovel. Not to mention their driveway is like the whole length of their property. So even if they get a hole, yeah. My missus decided to stay with our number 2 daughter because She was asked to watch the 32 granddaughter after work on Saturday and Sunday, so I haven't left here since 3:30 a.m. Saturday morning. Oh, the number two granddaughter. I was trying to say 32 granddaughter. Damn, dude, kids need to find a hobby. The 32 granddaughter. You put model ships together or something. I do not have 32 granddaughters. Morning, Mr. Holton. Good to see you. Glad you got your phone back up and running, bud. When I talked to Brenna the other day on the son's birthday, she told me that your phone was down. So I said, well, that explains why I've not heard from him in a while. Um, he don't have a phone to talk on. It's kind of hard to talk. I'm glad you're up and running though. Although I would love that shit. Yeah, we've not seen our granddaughters in what 2 weeks because of all this weather and stuff like that. Her son goes out, works, uh, however many hours they want him to work, and he is back home, staying warm. But if you guys remember right, they had that fire in their old trailer, and he sunk almost all that money into taking this new trailer and completely remodeling it, insulating it, new roof, new walls, new floors, new wiring, new appliances. So, when you roll up to the trailer, you're rolling up to an old 80s trailer. Well, I would say late 80s, early 90s. But when you walk inside that trailer, you are talking 20, 20, 24th and a half century. They got everything. He tried to go out and get the best of everything for this trailer to make his. I mean, the kids even have a fake fireplace. Of course, you can go around to the kids' bedroom, her son and his wife, and go in the girls' bedroom that way. But from the living room, he has got a full fireplace mantle built, and it's got a kick out doorway that you can open and go through the fireplace into the girls' bedroom. Um, they've got Bluetooth speaker lights in the bathroom that you can lay in there and play your own music through the speaker system in the walls. Um, two toilets. I guess so they can poop, poop together. I don't know why two toilets, but they got two toilets in there. One's a normal toilet, and one's an efficiency toilet, and one is a toilet bidet, so they can wash off their little fannies. I don't understand. There's the plows now working. I'm really surprised they're out. They normally don't come out until the snow stops. So, but yeah, you know, these kids, you know, remote control ceiling fans and go into that trailer, it's like walking into the Starship Enterprise. Um, uh, yeah, my screen was broken and leaking, so had to send it in to get fixed. Too much technology for me. So, I feel the same way. I mean, I welcome technology. Just don't ask me to use it or understand it or whatever the case may be. I mean, I wouldn't mind having the claw bathtub with the little Bluetooth light fan main speaker thing, so I can like lay back in the bathtub with the water and the bubbles up to here, and sit there and play on my phone. Listen to my own music, put my Pandora on, listen to my T.J. Holton albums while I'm sitting in the bathtub um, with the bubbles up to here, and I mean that'd be a good time as far as I'm concerned. But you you and the woman and the kids are going to have to make it back here to Michigan sometime in 2026. So we can shoot a couple of videos down here by the lake, or walking out through the country or something like that. Um, got a couple of good ideas for videos. Sitting up at the bar. Oh, I mean, Trevor's wallet. I mean, Trevor's trailer is too much technology for me. You'd be impressed, especially with him and Steph doing all the work. I mean, they've got rounded corners and stuff that he done all the drywall work in. That stuff I didn't learn until I was already over a decade older than he is. Doing rounded corners, and when you walk in the door, you turn to the right, and there's a hallway, and there's no door on their bedroom. This wall goes straight, and this one curves around to the doorway to the kids' room. And I never, I was in my 30s, my late 30s, when I learned how to do rounded corners and stuff like that and make them look good. And those two made them look good. Trial and error, mind you, but they made them look good. 2026 is off to a rocky start down this way. 2026 is, I don't even know how to phrase or how to categorize the beginning of 2026. I mean, it's not bad. It's not as bad as some years have been. But with some of the weird stuff going on around the country and everything right now, I'll be honest, it's not looking really good for later on in this year. Um, People are getting very upset, very frustrated about things. Of course, everybody knows what happened in Minneapolis over the weekend. And I thought it was really funny, and I'm not even going to talk about the political side of it. Everybody thought it was funny that after that incident occurred, a certain lady in charge of the entire operation uh, came on TV 3 different times and tried to downplay it as as a necessary occurrence. Oh, he was brandishing a gun. No, he was brandishing a cell phone. They took his gun off his waist when he was already on the ground. Oh, well, he was uh, what's the word? He was aggressive towards the officers. No, he was trying to pick the woman up off the ground, and they grabbed him, threw him on the ground, started beating on him. He didn't do anything to the officers. Well, he was passing out pictures of his gun. Who in their right mind goes around with flyers with pictures of their gun on it? And she was shot down every time by the video footage. So she had to keep coming back and making new excuses and just finally stopped doing it. So, that's all I'm going to say on that. It's weird crap. It's happening. People are getting very frustrated about it. And now, um, the National Guard has been deployed, and they are going to start standing with the citizens. So we'll see what happens. Um, let me see here. 2026 is okay here after the money we spent the last couple of months. 2025. I haven't seen anything about that last one, so I can't comment. Well, basically, Tony, what it was all about was he is an ICU nurse who is licensed to carry. And he was driving down the road, seen certain officials um, throwing this old woman down in the snow and stuff, and he stopped and started filming what was happening. Then when they threw her down, he went to pick her up. They grabbed him, threw him down, started beating on him. The video actually shows one person beating him in the face with a mace can. Then they get his pew pew off his waist, start to run away with it. Then they turn around, uh, fire 5 times into him while he's laying face down with his own pew pew. And then another officer turns around and fires 5 times with his pew pew into his back. So I mean, it was an assassination. It was no. I mean, he was there laying face down. Nobody was even on him anymore, and they put 10 shots in him. So, and it's all over. Of course, he's an ICU nurse. That's a domestic terrorist for filming. Anyway, we're getting up. Georgie, go in the shed. Mow yourself. Go in the shed. Mow, go in the shed. That's where everybody else is at. Sharing is caring. Go in the shed and stay warm. Uh, as for the money thing, we don't even want to talk about the money thing because, I mean, things were tough when I was working part time. But now that I'm off work and fighting for this disability and stuff like that, And of course, none of our prices have gone down. Um, there's a sale once in a while that brings prices closer to where they were 6 months ago, but they go right back up in a day or two. Chicken's gone up, burgers gone up. Pork sausage is about the only thing that's not gone up. Um, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. I would sell my soul for a cheeseburger. Processed foods are the only thing, frozen bagged stuff is about the only thing that we have access to anymore that's not gone up, 100, 200, 250%. It's it's terrible here. And like I said, we only have the one store, and they are owned by a corporation that sets their prices. So if they want to make any money for the utilities to pay their employees, anything, they have to mark the prices up even more. Get off my window or I'm going to close it the rest of the way so you can't hear me in here. I'll just have to start shutting off all the electronics when I'm out of here. Um, Cat says no drip. Yeah, I know. Real mouthy. Gas is getting better here at 279 a gallon last time. I'm going to close that window. Go. Don't make me get the squirt bottle. I will squirt your ass. You have got holes torn in just about every screen in this house. There's going to be one more thing I got to go out and try to buy, and we don't have any place around here that sells screen. Looks like I'm closing my window today. It's hanging right in the middle of the damn screen. Meow yourself. Go to the shed. Gas here. Well, what we have, what, one, two, we have three gas stations here in town, and it's averaging 299. We've seen it as high in the last 3 weeks as three. What do I say it was? 359. Um, of course, gouge the heck out of that stuff when there's supposed to be a storm or something coming in. Especially two of the three gas stations are Indian owned, so they gouge the heck out of the gas when there's supposed to be a storm coming in or something. It automatically goes up 25, 30, 40 cents, sometimes a little more than that when there's about to be a storm to come in. Um, the other one that don't have a big lot only has four pumps. They keep theirs reasonably low, but the ones who have 8 or 10 pumps, you're paying for it. I was in touch a couple times this weekend with Zombie. He was still driving. When I talked to him the other night, he got to their um, warehouse or whatever distribution center down in Dallas, and they halted everything. He was stuck down in Dallas until after the storm. So hopefully today, maybe not till tomorrow, he might actually be able to get back on the road. But yeah, I finally messaged him and said, I hope you're staying in a nice warm hotel instead of in your sleeper. Um, so, at least you're nice and safe and the truck's parked. But if he's anything like my uncle, when he drove, when he was still alive, um, he has to disconnect the trailer and drive the tractor every place he goes. So God only knows. Most companies don't have cars for you to drive. So maybe on a wing and a prayer, he was able to get an Uber or a cab or something to a nearby hotel where he could kick back, relax in a big comfy bed, watch TV, and be nice and warm and safe. Gas is 235 here. Yeah, I don't have any clue. I was actually going to go and get gas for the wife yesterday, but she wound up uh, taking her truck over to her aunt and uncle and taking their flare side Chevy um, to work. Now, today, she had to drive her own because they have to be clear over in St. Joe, Michigan for a doctor's appointment today. So they're driving from hell to beyond hell right on the lake to go to this doctor's appointment. So hopefully that goes well for them. But yeah, the closer to the lake, the worse it is. I'm sure some of you may have seen what they refer to as ice pancakes floating on Lake Michigan, where the lake actually started to freeze over. And then as the waves kicked in, as the storm got worse, it started breaking apart. So you've got all these flat, what they refer to as ice pancakes, all over Lake Michigan now. It's hard to believe. Normally, moving water don't freeze as much as still water does. And with the waves and stuff on the lake, it's amazing. I mean, they're getting little icebergs almost 12 inches thick floating all over the lake. And I mean, they're crashing up into the beaches and everything, and just more ice is forming. This winter keeps going like it is now. We're going to need to bring ice cutters down from the Arctic to be able to do normal transport on Lake Michigan. Drew, I'm still working on revising Midwest History Comes Alive. Yeah, Brenda told me you were going to get back into. She was pushing you to get back into reenacting, and yeah, you got my support. I'm actually going to try to do more this year than I've done in the past couple years. get with new groups, new reenactors in the area, and go out. I'm still aching for canvas though to do another tent because I don't have any anymore. I got to get busy though. I've only got 4 months until the Niles Ren Fair, where I'll be doing the All Father, telling stories and stuff to the kids, and doing security for them once again this year. So I need to come up with another tent quick, soon enough that my blind butt can lay all the canvas out in the living room and actually stitch it together to make a decent wedge tent or something. Um, so, yeah, it's yeah. Oh, what do we got here? Those are vertical icebergs. Vertical icebergs. Yeah, they actually call them. I was on Google last night while the wife was watching her Going Amish TV show, and yeah, she's ran out of murder porn, so now she's back to watching her Amish shows. Of course, I like Amish hauntings, Amish witches. She likes going back Amish, becoming Amish, leaving Amish, stuff like that. But I was looking at Google, and the Michigan Storm Chasers um, had an article on there, and they were talking about the ice pancakes. I guess they called them that because they're round on the edges, flat on the top and bottom, and called them that so people who don't live near water can make some kind of comparison to what they're talking about. She's not really pushing the back into it. I've got it. I've got two canvas tents now since I got my A-frame. I spent 300 on it. I thought they looked like kolache. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at as another A-frame. But yeah, I'm gonna have to make it myself because I sure as hell can't afford one. I've been watching on Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that, and I seen one that was not even as big as the last one I built, and I built it for like $50. Now, $65, and they wanted $700 for it. So yeah, I'm not going to be going out and buying one. But of course, we always have come on, pain in the butt. We always have that option. Like I go out there and I represent us. So my little sign says, living history's mysteries that goes in front of my camp. So with the YouTube channel and stuff, um, hopefully I can do something this year, because I will get, once again I'll get paid for security. But if I'm out there telling stories in between my runs and stuff like that, and I'm on the schedule, I won't ask them to pay me more as a performer or a storyteller. I'll just take donations. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Um, I got it from Stockade Runner. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. Well, I mean, and now if the kids want to get involved with you, or you're going to start taking Brenna out with you to do those events, um, you've got more space. That's one reason that a lot of you guys didn't know, but several years ago, I actually traded for a marquee top. It was a 12 by 12, and I was able just to go out and get the canvas for walls, um, so I could open a door, and then on the inside I was able to have like a dining room, a cooking area, and a bedroom. So, and I had this whole thing to myself. So I was able to keep my bedroom separate, have my dining table and chairs where we could have our military meetings and stuff, or just sit and drink at night, or do some trading and stuff inside out of the weather. So it could be raining out and everybody be inside nice and dry. Like I said, though, it was what where my cook area was at. I actually put a fire inside, and I would drop the flaps a little bit right above where the fire was at. So the wind would come in the front door, the breeze would come in the front door, and it would blow the smoke out that hole between the wall and the roof. And it stayed nice and toasty in there. It stayed nice and toasty. So even on those nights when it dropped down into the 40s or whatever, we had a good fire. Like I said, if it was raining, I was still able to cook inside. It smoked the inside of the canvas real pretty. Um, and then if I just wanted to be a bear about it, I could flip the canvas top over and smoke the other side of it too. So it was a nice dark, tan and brown everywhere. So, man, they are plowing the crap out of it right now, which is really surprising because, as far as I know, it's still snowing. This is very unlike. Yep, it's still snowing. Dropped 2 degrees. It's 10 degrees now. This is very, very weird for them because normally they won't start plowing until the snow. They may have actually. They might be trying to knock what's already on the road off before the main body of the storm hits us today and tomorrow. Today, tonight, and tomorrow. So I can fit your tent inside a frame and almost walk around it. Still minus 31 here. I don't know what the wind chill is here. 10 degrees is our ambient. Let me see what it says. Oh, minus 11. Oh, goody. The wind chill is now up to minus 17. I didn't tell you could shut off. I guess my eyes are a little better today than they were yesterday. I come in here yesterday morning at like 3 o'clock, yeah, 2:45, and made a pot of coffee and went to pour my first cup of coffee. And I don't know if I was too far to the left or what the deal was, or holding it at the wrong angle, but poured the coffee right on my bare skin on my hand. Uh, and I sat there, and gritted what used to be teeth and shook. And I might have said a dirty word or two, or at least thought them. Uh, but, you know, quickly moved the pot back and got it in the cup. But yeah, it was not very enjoyable. Luckily enough, I didn't blister and it don't sting anymore. But that that hurt. I mean, it wasn't a kick in the gozers kind of hurt, but it was a sting. I mean, it burned. You know, blind people doing everyday things. Oh, oh, -3. Gotcha. What's on the agenda for today? Well, I have to, as soon as we're done here, I have to try to get a hold of the doctor and reschedule my appointment I was supposed to have on Friday until they shut down everything. The clinic, courthouse, most of the businesses. Um, what was I have to call the insurance, or I mean, I have to call the lawyers, let them know that the doctor's appointment was canceled and whether or not I got one rescheduled. Um, got paperwork to fill out for the lawyer and Social Security, work history, um, everything wrong with me right now. The uncontrolled diabetes, the blindness, the blood clots, things like that. Uh, I've got uh, I've got a video or two videos to work on for Friday. One for this channel, one for Paranormal Papa Investigations. Um, Plus, the outside stuff, shoveling, the front walk for the mailman, and to get up the hill to the prop or to the house to put the mail in. Um, then the inside stuff. I mean, cleaning, dishes, um, shit, the table, because the wife will probably want to play cards tonight when she gets home. Um, I don't know though. It just depends on. I'll have to talk to her to find out if she's going to have the girls come over to play cards tonight. They're fools if they do, because I'm here to tell you it's hazardous out here right now. So, and I mean that's happening everywhere. Um, I just assumed when I messaged Sarah earlier that her and the kids were not going out today. That they probably had snow and school had been canceled. And I told her it's the perfect day to make cookies. I mean, yeah. And I was right. It was school was canceled. They had snow, and they probably were not going to go anywhere. They didn't have to go. And it's oh yeah, I got to call mom and dad too because they had ice storm and I think they said there's 750,000 people without power right now because of the ice and the snow and stuff. So I definitely need to get a hold of mom and dad because they're in the same boat we are. They they have a gas furnace, but they have an electric thermostat. So if the thermostat, if power goes out and the thermostat quits working, then they have no way for their furnace to kick on and off. So yeah, I definitely need to go get a hold of mom and pop. I mean, yeah, try to get a hold of them as much as possible. Oh, let me see here. Um, you could have just said you have swamped schedule. Hey, total anonymity, bud. I total transparency. You asked me what I'm doing, you're gonna live it with me. But I could probably fit in a short video conference with you, sir. There's always more hours in a day and the week. Oh, for those of you who like a little bit of history, and I should have mentioned this earlier when I was talking about doing the videos for Friday. Um, I'm working on one right now that is a history slash parahistory look into the ships in Baltimore Harbor. Uh, as you know, they have the USS Constellation in the harbor. They've also got a World War II submarine, and a local news group teamed up with a local Maryland paranormal group to look into the history and the reported occurrences on the Constellation and on the submarine. So that's going to be a really interesting video coming out Friday on Paranormal Papa. Um, the video coming out for this channel on Friday is going to be um, very cool, to say the least. We're actually looking into how the Norse built their winter homes and managed to keep them so incredibly warm and comfortable. Haven't quite figured out the source material on that one yet, but I will. Who knows? I might go back over to our buddy Tom over in Scandinavia and find out from him how it was done. Who knows? Man, that's a slow moving vehicle. I would message the wife and see how the roads are, but she's already hopefully there. It's a 15-minute trip in the summer and a 45-minute trip or longer in the winter. So, um, short video short video meeting is always better than none at all. True that. The thermostat should be battery operated, but the blower, not good. Yeah, I know. I'm working on a project that's over my head. Hot air balloons? Why birds migrate? I'll get a hold of you. I think I have to put new battery. Below zero this morning. See, I know that the thermostats are supposed to be battery powered, but we ran into a situation Saturday night when it was super cold. Um, it was like minus 9. Wind chill was like minus 19. Um, the wife went to adjust the thermostat and it was showing low battery. Well, ours is just battery ran. Mom and dad's came in the house. It was a brand new furnace and everything when they bought this place. And it's wired into the wall. So we've come to find that, you know, even though it's not running off the batteries still drain with time. And they've lived there for 11 years. So there's a good possibility that if they lose power, the battery backup is will be dead, and because you have to like take the thermostat out to be able to get to the battery pack on the back of it, and with it being wired in the wiring, that may not be easy to do. So especially for dad at 80, 84 years old, he'll be 85 um, into March. So he don't do too awful well with the fine tuned stuff anymore. As a matter of fact, he's in the last couple of years since he was up here visiting and wound up in the hospital. Now he's on those damn breathing treatments and stuff like that twice a day. We have all seen him go from the man who does everything to the man who calls out to have everything done. Like I said the other day, pretty much all he ever does anymore is if he finds a little piece of hand implement like gardening or something like that sitting at a roadside, he'll pick it up, take it home, and then when he has the gumption, he'll sand it down, repaint it, and add it to mom's collection of little things in the front yard and stuff like that. Other than that, he cooks his bacon once every couple months. So has a day or a weekend where he goes out in his shed and hooks up his big electric griddle and cooks 15 pounds of bacon. So he's always got bacon in the freezer. That's all he does. That's all he does. Every once in a while, he'll get out and mow when it's a really nice day. But he does the right on. Mom does the pushing and the weed eating and stuff. Then of course goes right into her flower beds. I think I have one more. I think I have to put in Alabama hasn't failed to start, but cranks very slowly if it sits a few days. I have worked on numerous systems, and all of those have been battery operated, but I certainly have not seen everything out there. Shit, seen. You haven't mowed this yard 2 times. The battery in the truck is 7 years old, if I remember correctly. And I'm really surprised. Um, we have had no problems cranking the Explorer over. We were told to start it every day just to be safe, make sure it starts. And even when it was cold the other day, and the wife's uncle took her to work, when I took trash out, I stopped, cleaned off the Explorer, cranked it, and it had no problem cranking at minus 19. It was, I was surprised. It now don't get me wrong. It seemed like it cranked a little slower. I mean, it wasn't that. It was more like a. But it fired right up. I let it run for about 5 minutes, shut it off, and yesterday we went out and started it again, and it fired up just like a scared bunny. So we've been real lucky. Now we'll see what this next storm does, because I was watching the weather this morning for the forecast for this week, and they said that it could be colder in the Great Lakes region by the end of the week than it was Friday and Saturday. So, we'll just have to see what it does um, then. But I don't know. We'll see. I guess we have two Arctic blasts that are going to roll through one right after the other and rotate over the top of us. So it's supposed to bring even colder temps, more snow, possibly more ice, possibly a reason for me just to go out and lay in it and freeze to death. I don't know. I mowed this yard 2 times in 2025. Yeah, it was dry this summer, so grass didn't grow really as much as normal. It says it is supposed to be slightly warmer this week. Yeah, I don't know if the rotation is going to get down as far as you guys. But yeah, they're talking about the potential of really, really, really cold temperatures. I think by um, Saturday or Sunday. So I don't know. We'll see. But if you guys will excuse me for a second, it's been over an hour. I have to go do the thing. I've been drinking this coffee like crazy this morning because it is chilly. It is chilly in here. Um, if you would have seen me working in here Saturday morning, you would have got a good laugh because I had on my sweatshirt, had on my Viking shirt, had this black bear mantle pulled up over my shoulders, and I had my hood on, my pullover hood face mask. Uh, I looked funny. I looked funny. is cold. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Mr. Ralph was laying in front of my door. He wanted picked up and so he could put his head on my shoulder and at me. He don't like the snow. Even not going. He just don't like the look of it. We even walk towards the back door. He leaves the room. It is so. It has been so cold here. It has been so cold here that they don't even like being on the floor because we have that big open space under the house, and it is so cold. The floor is so cold that when he lays down at night, he lays down completely over the heater vent with his feet up underneath him. So the heater warms his little toes and his pads and stuff up. Um, his head on your shoulder like a baby, and he goes. Never in my life have I seen such a drama queen as that 7 year old cat. And everybody says that black cats are hard to raise. Everybody's full of shit. Oh crap. That's a long one. I can't read it. How long they will run doesn't make this make sense. It's 13 degrees and real feel is 3 degrees here in Texas. Oh, Lady C. Sorry, the blue. Like I said earlier, if it wasn't the fact that you guys didn't deserve those wrenches, I would take all the wrenches away just so I could read. Read the names coming in because the blue is so much darker than white. The blue just kind of fades into the black background, and I have a real hard time reading the blue names that come up. Oh, I can shut that thing off before it starts draining the battery. I'm really surprised. I'm probably cursing myself, but I'm really surprised that the Wi-Fi and everything has stayed on. I'm guessing getting this Wi-Fi that we got now is better. Hope you're doing okay, Lady C. One of our other folks is stranded down there in Dallas right now. Truck driver. Uh, hopefully you're. Hopefully y'all are surviving this. I remember when Dallas Fort Worth got hit here a few years ago. It was nasty. Nobody down there was used to having it like that. But you guys had one of those Wichita Falls winters over in Dallas Fort Worth, and it was bad. Um, 13, 13 degrees and real feel is 3. Um, because it's 13 degrees ambient, and then you factor in the wind chill, and you lose those 10 degrees. So we're the same way, we're sitting. What are we at now? We're back up to 12 degrees, so real feel is like 1 degree, as long as the wind hasn't picked up. Um, it's -3 here, was 17, -17 wind chill, -3, -17. I've had a black cat when I was a kid. We have black cat in the house now. Morning all. Hell, remove the wrenches. I don't care. I rarely use the thing. That's because we rarely have any trouble where we need to use them. But still, better safe than sorry. I dug all my radios out last week and I got a lot more than I realized. Texas don't do cold like this. I think I have 15 here in the garage. Oh my God. I'd love to have one. Don't get me wrong. I would absolutely love to have a radio sitting like right here beside the computer and stuff. Um, if nothing else, just to listen to. I mean, who knows? Maybe one day um, I'll get licensed to use it. But I would love to have a shortwave radio. Um, if I wanted to be a complete boner about it, we've got this steel pipe running up the back of the house out here that everything powers into, brings the main power line into the house. Um, I would hose clamp an antenna to that going 20 feet up and just run my line right here under the eaves trough or under the overhang along the side of the house and right down in the window here. Direct line. What the hey? It's something else to do. I'm always looking for hobbies. That's why I'm getting back into reenacting because I get bored once in a while. And when people are snowed in and stuff like that, people are always looking for stuff to do, people to listen to, videos to watch. Can't get out. Might as well take advantage of it any way you can. Um, Texas, you can get The Belfan UV5 handheld is for about 20 or 25 bucks on Amazon, and that is not on sale. Cheap ass for your situation, antenna related. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it, but once again, especially with her having the only income right now, once things with me get cleared up and I actually have a monthly something coming in, um, it probably wouldn't be a bad thing. But with her having the only income coming in here right now, um, we never, ever, we hardly ever have money left over after the mortgage and stuff, to go buy groceries. Um, at least things we would like to have that we miss, like hamburger. Um, but let alone have money for anything else. So, and it's really bad because you never know what the gas is going to do here. Like I said, we've been down into the $2 range. We've been up into the mid $3 range just in the last couple weeks, and for no reason. Everybody else's gas is going down, but because of who's running these stations, you never know what they're going to mark the gas out. Mark it at out. Mark it, yeah, knocking us out with what they're marking it at. Um, and that is not she. The problem is, the problem for your situation is antenna related. Um, the cost of an antenna is about 8 or 10 times the radio. With external antennas, you have to figure coaxial cable, and it takes a fairly high quality coax to get the best out of a little radio. And it's funny, if I would have taken an interest in this, let's say 30 years ago, if I would have taken an interest in this 30 years ago, I remember the old man had antennas and boxes of coax, for his CBs and stuff like that. And then I had my uncles that were, um, truck drivers and stuff. I knew people back then that done shortwave, uh, that could have helped me. But the old man, I know, I know good and well, he had, 4 or 5, big whip antennas that, a couple of them went clear from the behind the cab, um, on his truck, and went. Well, no, I take that back. He had one that mounted on the front fender of his truck and whipped clear back, curved over, and was wired into the back fender by his tailgate on a full size F-250, 4x4. So, but I know that thing was 10 or 12 feet, I think, if not further than that or bigger than that, that he kept on his truck for his CB. I got my in 1997, so I did take an internal radio. Now, bear this in mind, I am not talking shortwave. This is VHF, and UHF shortwave is actual HF. UHF is ultra high frequency. VHF is very high frequency, and HF is high frequency. We talked about it last week. I don't know anything about it. I mean, I understand the difference between UHF and VHF, but I had never heard of HF before you had mentioned that last week. So it's all Greek to me. That's why that's why when it comes to finding new hobbies and stuff, I try to leave electronic hobbies to the people who understand electronics. Um, I do the manual hobbies for myself because I understand how those work. I, I, I really honestly wish we still had more free Civil War reenactments and stuff around here. But the Revolutionary War, French and Indian War, War of 1812, you have to go further out east. I guess, worst case scenario, I'll sleep on Sarah's couch. Bet she loves that. If I wake up with a large male member drawn on my face, um, it's either going to be her or her son. So, but around here, all they have is Civil War, Vietnam War, and even Civil War reenactments are becoming few and far between. Either you have to travel 2 or 3 hours to get to one, or they want to do them in July and August when it's already almost 100 degrees and you're in head to toe wool in an open field running around for an entire weekend. If you guys will remember here a few years ago, me and my buddy Mike went up to central Michigan and done a Civil War event up there that Mark and his wife was at. And they actually had to go to a hotel during the night because it was 100 some odd degrees at night. And uh, they couldn't, people were dropping like flies on the battlefield. So they left it as a, catch as catch can event for the rest of the weekend. But we dropped like 3 or 4 guys on the battlefield. And then Mark was getting dizzy and he quit sweating. He was dehydrating, so they wound up having to go to a doo doo, says the Viking horn. So yeah, they're becoming few and far between around here. Um, HF is 30 megahertz and below. VHF is 3300 and UHF is 300 to around 1,000, maybe 900. I got you. They are labeled by wavelength, like 145 megahertz is 2 meters. Um, Radio is 11 meters. There is 12 point or 12 point 15.17, 20, 30, 40, 60, 80, and 160 meters, and so on. This CD is HF radio. I got you. I got you. Oh, man. Leaning down to read is a pain in the chest, like literally right across here. So I have to push in on the edge of the desk to be able to get down there to read. I wish there was a way we could do audio live streams where everybody could just talk and I could hear everyone. That hurts. Most folks our age are aware of, and that is why I included that. CB to me is a lot easier to understand because, well, like you said, we understand CB a little bit more because most of us grew up at least knowing some family member that owned one. So, yeah, it's I don't do a lot in HF. I won't, I can't tolerate that noise. I understand. I do. Oh, man. Good morning, Bud Files. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well this morning. Whew. I seen you put out a video was it last night or night before last. I got to go over and watch that still this morning. Do-do. What the hell is that? Oh, it's an email. Hmm. I don't know who the company is, but I seen chainmail, that would go beautiful with the Viking outfit, like the coif that goes over the head. It's got a 19-inch opening right here. Supposed to wear it under the helm. $33 and change. Shirts for like $100 that go like midway down on my thigh. Long sleeves. Why is it people produce these really, really cool things that I've been after for like long periods of time? They always produce it when you don't have any money. I'll never understand it. It's like they know. The radio that I use here on my desk does 7 bands that it will listen to and transmit on 4. Hi, bud. How are you? Morning, folks. Good news and bad news. Who dat? Oh, that's Squatchy. Good to see you, bud. What's the same news? You got good news and bad news. What's the good news and bad news there, Mr. Squatch? Winter storm blew through. No snow. Wow, that's insane. But at the same time, lucky because there was a lot of snow dumped from Texas all the way into the Carolinas, up into Virginia, West Virginia, and even further north than that. So, like I said earlier, I have to get a hold of the parents down in Tennessee, about an hour and a half or so north of Chattanooga, and find out what they got because they were supposed to get plowed over the weekend. So, and I haven't talked to them since Friday. So I would really like to find out if they got anything. But you're actually the first one that I've heard from down south that has not got snow. So I mean, I guess that's good? Question mark. It is cold as a well digger's belt buckle. We got off pretty lucky on the snow at about 4 inches, but it is cold. Yep, I'm in Georgia. Yeah, I knew you was down there. Yeah, you got lucky. I scraped when I went out and took the trash out at 7 this morning. Um, I would say I probably brushed 4.5 or 5 inches off the wife's car, and it's still snowing. So almost what 7, 8, 8, 9, 9 to 10. almost 3 hours later. It's supposed to snow all day today, tonight, and tomorrow with this lake effect band that came through after the main part of the storm moved through. So I'll just have to let you guys know next Monday how much we actually got because they're talking. They said they couldn't tell just how much lake effect's actually going to drop on us. Hope they don't do much because, like I said, when my old blind turtley butt took the trash can down this morning, I fell down by the road trying to get it out of the alley, get the trash can out of the alley in the road. I wound up backing up into snow piled up waist deep and fell straight back in it. So, watching me try to get up in the dark out of snow that, I mean, my feet were lifted up off the ground. That was the hardest thing. So I'm sitting there, trying to scoot to get something on the ground that I could actually push myself up with without rolling over face deep in 30 inches of snow. So yeah, it was quite interesting. So I hope we don't get much more. I mean, if it was much deeper than that, I might have died out there. Not to mention, going out with as cold as it's been and everything, going out in the dark and becoming incapacitated in the snow. You've got to worry about polar bears and rabid penguins and seals that eat meat. Around here, I think I got to worry more about being eaten by outside kitties um, than anything. I can't wait till warm weather so I can get out and start investigating again. This is boring. Yeah, 30 inches up here and mounds of it everywhere. Yeah, devilish. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. Hope you're faring well, though. We're right now we're sitting somewhere in the 16, 17 inches. Like I said, I wore my cavalry boots to take the trash out this morning, and they go all the way up to my knees, and the snow was about 3 inches below the top of my boots. Um, it was interesting, but at least we weren't slick. That's the one thing I was very thankful for. I could wear those old boots out there with the wooden soles on them, and I didn't slide once going down the hill or walking down the alley to take the trash can out. It wasn't until I tried to, pull it back out of the road that I actually fell backwards in the snow. And I'm just glad no one was out there with a camera. Doggone it! Now I got the hiccups. Bloody hell! two coyotes passed by me within 3 feet as I was at the bus stop the other day. The bank outside the house here is at 6 feet. Now, where exactly are you at, Dev? I mean, not exactly, but roundabout, kind of, sort of. Because right now, the way you're describing that, it sounds like North Michigan. I am in west of Toronto, near Lake Ontario. Ah, okay. I got you. Yeah, we've not heard a lot about Canada down here and what this storm is doing. Everybody's been so preoccupied with the winter storm hitting, Dallas, Fort Worth, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri. We've not heard a lot from what's been going on up there north of the border. So I'm actually really glad you're in here because I didn't know how bad it got. Even when they were talking about the storm and what was happening here, uh, right inside the Great Lakes, we weren't hearing anything about the rotations as they were going back up and hitting you guys after they hit us. So I'm just glad that y'all are faring well up there because it's nasty. It's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. The issue with the southern storms is freezing rain. Yesterday, it started at about 4 a.m. Didn't stop till about 8 this morning. They were calling for 1 to 3 inches of ice, and that would have been a problem. Yeah, I noticed that we didn't get near as much ice before the storm started. They were talking, yeah, certain places getting an inch and a half to up to 3 inches of ice because of how everything was flash freezing. Now, I did hear that there are places down south where they were putting the enzyme on the road, and as the melted snow and everything was running off the road, it was flash freezing right back on the roads again. So they were basically having to put it down and then go right back over it again and just keep doing it. And after a while, I think they just finally stopped because it was an unending battle, and that's why zombies stuck down in Dallas right now until the whole storm ends. They're not letting any of the trucks leave until the storm is over. So he's been, like I said, he's been stuck down there for 3 days. So there is nothing in the world. I remember my uncle doing it. There is nothing in the world like going somewhere to pick up a load, and you think you're going to be able to get in and out before the storm hits, and it's forecasted bad. They won't even park your truck until the storm ends, and they'll load you and send you out on your route. 3 3 inches of ice. I don't know who you are. Probably the wife. I probably just shut her off. 3 inches of ice would have taken about 75, 90% of the power lines. Oh, yeah, definitely. Between weight on wires and tree limbs. Truckers here don't know how to drive in 7 inches of snow, never mind ice. Yeah, they really honestly don't. And that's how it is down south. They have no clue. Not to mention they don't have the equipment to go out and salt and plow. I remember many, many, many years ago. I believe I was in my 20s or early 30s. I was dating a girl whose family was on vacation down south when a big Georgia freeze hit, and they were stuck at a rest stop out along the interstate for uh, almost a day and a half, and just eating out of the vending machines in the rest stop. But there was several travelers and truck drivers and stuff stuck at that rest stop until they were finally able to bring help from a little further north and come down, and people automatically, I mean, straight away into the cities to go to hotels and stuff to stay. Um, God, yeah, that was forever. I was 20, probably 25, 26 years ago, 27 years ago. Um, but it was terrible. I mean, her family lived in India, central Indiana, so they were used to a little bit of snow, but this was the worst Georgia had seen in forever. I would bet that 60% of the people in the area that forecast heavy ice had no way to survive a week without power. Oh, God, no. No, I agree. One guy spent 4 hours uh, spinning tires for only 6 inches of movement. Jesus. Yeah, it's definitely terrible. That's for sure. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I mean, just getting through the storm. And Dev, if you've been watching the weather, supposedly we have another potential storm or two polar vortexes, two storms next weekend. So we get about 5 days to recover from what? just hit, and then we have one or two more heavy storms supposed to come in next weekend. And they're supposed to rotate over us the same way this last one did. So we'll be getting it, and then you guys will be getting it. And then when the storm passes, it'll be like today and all lake effect snow. So it's going to be interesting. They said this winter was going to be interesting, and so far, they've been right. Let me see here. But that's going to be it, guys. I'm going to get busy on the things I got to get busy on while we still have power. This lake effect snow coming down is a very wet snow, and it's sitting on our power lines and stuff, sitting in the trees. So hopefully, we don't have to run up our gas bill this week and power go out, and we have to heat the house with the oven. Um, God only knows. God only knows. Um, I do have a generator that will run the entire house, and for that I have 18 gallons of gas. Yeah, 18 gallons of gas and three grill sized propane tanks here. Take care, folks, and be careful if you must venture out. Better in the bad weather. Yeah, starting to say venture out in the better. But yep, I'm out of here, guys. Y'all take care of yourselves. Stay warm. Stay inside if you can. Like I told Sarah earlier this morning, stay in, bake cookies. Tony, we all know that even though you and I are diabetics, we still like cookies. Bake some cookies while the wife is gone. Surprise her. Have big storage containers of cookies all on the counter. If she says anything when she gets home, say, "Got bored." Rest, you guys. Same goes. If you can't go out, bake cookies. She don't like cookies, huh? More for you. But all right, I'm out of here. Y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. We'll catch you all next week, unless something catastrophic happens, and then we'll have an emergency live stream. But y'all take care, and we'll see you later.